Here's some of the footage from these Aosu cameras. Now, while I show you this footage, let me point out that these cameras were sent to me about 4 months ago so I could test them out and make this video. I really wanted to test these out and see what they're capable of, see how they hold up in different weather conditions. And that's why I've had them set up for so long. I actually set up a mount or a tripod to put these on so I could kind of move them to different areas, see how good the Wi-Fi is, see how they do in direct sunlight, fully exposed to all of the elements. And I've got to say, these cameras have held up really well. You can kind of see from this clip, they are kind of dirty and messy just because I've left them outside. I've had birds poop on them. They've been through massive rainstorms. They've been through intense heat. It's gotten up to 100 degrees a few times. And they have even been in some windstorms where they actually toppled over and landed directly on the camera. And they've held up great through everything. So obviously these cameras aren't really designed to be knocked over or anything like that, but they are designed to withstand different weather conditions. They do just fine. The main unique thing about these cameras is that they have AI, and later on I will show you how that works. Before I get there, I do want to kind of just show you what you get out of the box, the overall setup process, so you can kind of know what you're getting into if you get these cameras. Let's go ahead and get this set up before we install it. All right, so we've got an Ethernet cable, a bunch of stickers for templates and monitoring, installation, screws. It's got the solar on top like this. All right, let's have a look first at the home base. Oh, nice. So that just has some magnets to keep things on. That is pretty slick. All right, here's our hard drive slot pole. I think we have to take that screw out. Yeah, so we can take that out. So there we have a look inside. It is SATA. So you'll put your 2.5 hard drive in there. Do that in just a bit. And then in the back, we just plug in power. We've got Ethernet and then another option, presumably for external storage. I'll try that out as well. So we do have a couple USB-C cables. Here are some mounting screws. It does have anchors if you're not screwing directly into wood. And these screws are for your hard drive. So let me go ahead and plug this into power and plug into Ethernet as well. Got nice, pretty blinking light. So that got added nice and easy. Now it wants us to turn these cameras on. And here on the back is a power button. So we'll just go ahead and press and hold until we see an LED.
Hello.
Hello. And it recognizes both devices that come with this. So we need to turn on the other one. Let me go ahead and do that. Press and hold this one as well.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, they are both connected now. Press done. There is an option to pay for cloud storage, or you can just store everything locally. So we'll go ahead and skip that. Now we have two SolarCams that show up here. Let's go ahead and open one up. Well, hello. It seems to be working. So I'm going to go ahead, find a more permanent home for this home base, and then we'll install these and go through all the features and functions. The really cool thing about this camera setup is it charges via solar, so you don't have to worry about power. And it also has local storage that is inside your home. So you don't have to worry about the cloud. You don't have to worry about running out of space. You don't have to worry about if something happens to the camera or someone breaks the camera, if you'll lose your footage. You got everything backed up here. Let's look at the home base settings for a second. So it shows what cameras are connected, and then it shows the storage here. So you can see it already has about 30 gigs of built-in storage, but let's go ahead and see if we can add to that. I have a 240 gig SSD right here. So let's plug this into the back of the hub. Device cannot be recognized. Let's go ahead and format. Yes, we will format. Right now we're at about 30 gigs and now we're at about 220. So it looks like it's possibly only using one storage device at a time. Let's go ahead and add another hard drive inside. So I've got this 120 SSD. Let's install it, see how well this works. You want to install the SSD like this. Looks like it comes with 5 screws, an extra one for good measure. Appreciate that. I've got everything screwed in. Let's go ahead and plop this back in. Put the cover back on. Plug everything in again. And once again, the storage device cannot be recognized. We'll go ahead and format. It looks like it instantly recognizes the capacity of this one, 120 gigs. So again, it looks like it's only using one storage device. Let me go ahead and plug in USB one more time. Got that plugged in. So it looks like it's just using whatever the larger device is. Interesting. Let's talk AI. So that's kind of the special thing about these cameras, is that they have AI. And what that means is when you record a video, it will analyze what's going on, and then it actually kind of gives you a summary of what's going on. And honestly, it's pretty cool and kind of bizarre just to see notifications talking exactly what is going on. It will say, hey, someone came and delivered a package, or an animal just ran across your yard, or there's a little boy waiting on the front porch. It will say all of these things. And now that I've used it as long as I have kind of mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, it is really cool and it does work well. On the other hand, most of the time I don't need it to tell me what's going on. If I can view the notification and it kind of shows me what's going on, that's usually all I need to know. If someone delivers a package and they have a snapshot of that in the notification, that's good enough for me. So I guess the question then is, who might this be useful for? And I think the answer to that is there might be a situation where you have many cameras, or you monitor a lot of things, or it's in a location where you want to know everything that's going on, but you don't necessarily want to view all of the thumbnail pictures or something like that. In that case, it might actually be useful for you. For me, there's really only a couple things that I actually care about. One is if a package arrives, and it does a great job doing that. The other thing is if there's like an animal or a deer going through my yard, just letting me know. And again, it does a great job at that. So what are some of the limitations with the AI? You can actually name people in the app. So I named myself, I named some of my kids, and some of the time it does a great job. Some of the time it gets it wrong. So I might get a notification that says I am outside when it might be one of my kids. Looking over the notifications, a lot of times it will get small details kind of mixed up. For example, I had a cat run across my yard and it said a dog ran across my yard. For some people that might be a big deal if they have a dog or a cat as a pet and they need to know that it's in their fence. For me, I don't have any pets. I just have a bunch of animals running through my yard, so I don't much care either way. Another thing to be aware of, and I don't know how true this is, but it presumably does take some time to process what's going on and send you the notification. And because of that, I suspect the notifications might be delayed if you use the AI features. And I actually tested this. I have a bunch of different security cameras. I walked up to a bunch of different cameras to see which cameras would notify me the fastest, and the Aosu camera was the slowest. And I suspect that is because it is doing some processing, or it's waiting until it finds everything else that's going on before it lets you know what's going on. And I think it tells you as much in the app that if you use AI, you're probably going to get somewhat delayed responses. That's just something to be aware of if you do want to use that feature. Ultimately, I think the AI is a lot of fun and sometimes it's useful. What's the most useful to me is that every notification has a little picture associated with it, but the app is fantastic, really easy to navigate. I like that you have full ownership of all of your storage. If something happens, I know I have all of my files. I don't have to worry about cloud. I don't have to pay a cloud service, though you can if you want to. I'm really impressed with the Wi-Fi range. Like I mentioned, I put it on a mount and I've been trying to see how far it can go, and it can actually go quite a way away from my house. Is that right? Quite a way away. That's right. So it can go far. It's got a good range, good distance. It's very durable, holds up in every weather condition. The app is great. When you look at events, it kind of tells you what the event is. You can filter the event. So if you only want to see pets, you can filter it so you only see pets or cars or whatever you want to filter. If you want to have a lot of control with what you do, you can do all of that in the app. I'm really happy with the image quality. Overall, I think they're great cameras. I could probably live without the AI features, but I think a lot of people would find those useful, if not at least interesting and fun.